Casey. I am 15 years old and I am working to become an entrepreneur by starting my own clothing brand. I'll be recording my process on starting this clothing brand, and hopefully you guys can follow along. So let's get into it. Okay, so basically I started my clothing brand. Well, no, I didn't start it, but I started working on it and thought of the idea in the summer of 2024. Basically, I love making digital art, and I always have. And basically, I've always loved making digital art, and my parents brought up the idea of turning it into a business. So we brainstormed, and we came up with the idea of putting my art on hoodies. So I started making designs specific for hoodies, and I started doing research into manufacturers. I was looking at what it would take to build a website. I started building a website, and I was having a great time. I started out by looking up the requirements for a clothing brand, so like when I need to get started, because I had zero knowledge when I first thought of the idea, and I needed to do my research. So I started watching YouTube videos. I started looking at TikToks and reels that people have made on starting their clothing brand. I used AI bots like ChatGPT, or I think that's the only one, honestly. And I started using those to help bring up ideas on how I was supposed to find manufacturers, or where I could find places to print designs on hoodies and stuff. Thing is, though, at the time I was very broke. I had no money. So my dad came up with the idea of drop shipping. So I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. So I was doing my research, and I was looking for companies, and I couldn't find any. I was feeling really discouraged because I thought it would be easier to find a manufacturer / dropshipper so that I could make my hoodies. I thought it'd be easy peasy, but it wasn't. So I got really discouraged. I decided I was going to focus on making designs instead of focusing on trying to find a company to print my hoodies. So I focused on my designs, I built my website, and then that went on for I want to say 2 or 3 months, where I didn't do any research into manufacturers or anything. But then me and my family moved to a different province, and we moved to Edmonton, and I decided it was time to get back into it. So I started doing research again, and I finally found what I thought was a perfect manufacturer. Not manufacturer, they were a print-on-demand company, and they did drop shipping. But like I said, I had almost no experience learning this. So I thought it was a perfect company. I could put my design on it, they would print it and send it to whoever bought it, and that was that. So I started looking into this company, and it seemed like great prices, it seemed like super customizable, the reviews were great, and they even partnered with a company where I could make a website with them for completely free, but I could only list 5 products and 1 photo per product. But I thought it was great. Perfect, I found jackpot, it's going to be great. Then, so I worked with So I made an account on the website that I could use to make websites, and I connected Stripe so that I could accept payments. I designed the website how I wanted it, and it was going great. I ordered my first sample off the dropshipping company, and then that's when I found out that it was actually way more expensive than the initial pricing. So I found out that it's almost $60 just for one hoodie, which made me at the time a little bit discouraged because I'm 15, I don't have a job, I'm very broke. But I figured it out, and I got the money to order a hoodie, and when it got here, I was like, nice, this is a perfect hoodie. you know? It was good quality, the print was good, it wasn't going anywhere, the fabric was super soft and great quality. I loved it. And at the time I was like, you know, I really love these hoodies, but like I don't want to charge people this much. And I did my math a little bit wrong. I was like, oh, so it's actually way cheaper for people than I thought. I know that doesn't really make sense, but that's what I was thinking at the time. And I messed up, so I ended up spending, keep in mind, it costs about $60 for one hoodie with that company. And like thinking about it like now and like a while ago, but like after this, that's a lot. Like no one wants to spend that much for a hoodie, like no matter what the brand is, honestly. No average person wants to spend that much, especially on a brand that they don't know of yet, you know? So I was like, okay, well, this is really good hoodies, so I'm going to at least use this and just market the shit out of it. But I was marketing. I honestly was not doing that good of a job. I was just doing edits of the hoodie. But at the time, that's all I thought I could do. I looked into it more and I figured out different ways I could market the hoodie. So I started being more creative with ads, and I started reaching out to people like that I knew, like all of my contacts. I went through my old emails. I found every single email address I had saved. I went through all my phone numbers I had saved and all my old devices, and I put together a list of everyone, so their names, their emails, and their phone numbers. I'll put a demonstration here. So yeah, like that. And I was like, okay, like I might get somewhere with this, because I had a lot of people on there. I had like almost 100 people on there, I think. Me at the time, I was like, okay, this is almost 100 people that I can talk to and can potentially get like even a small percentage to buy my hoodies. So I contacted every single one of them, and maybe a month after making an account on the website I was using to make my website, I decided it would be worth it to pay like almost $30 a month for an upgrade, so I could put more photos with the products, and I could put more products, and I can edit the code in the website and stuff, which I couldn't do before with a free account. So I did that, and then I marketed like crazy, and I contacted all these people, and eventually someone did buy my hoodie. I was like, oh, sick, like awesome, like I finally got my first sale, like I'm going to use this as some leverage for marketing on TikTok. And I thought, like, great, like I'm finally gonna started, you know, like got my first sale, woo. But then, okay, my headphones just made noise. It was weird. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, so I got my first sale. I was super excited when I woke up with the notification saying someone bought my hoodie. Thing is though, I did my math completely wrong, and I ended up losing money on that. And the company that I was using to accept payments ended up holding my money for about 2 weeks because it was the first transaction. So, and keep in mind, I've got like no money. So when this person ordered, I was like, okay, I can use the money they sent me to like do this. Like, hold on. How do I explain this? I thought that when I connect this dropshipping company to the website, that they would place their order and it would go directly to the company that does the dropshipping. But it ended up that it doesn't do that, and I have to use my bank account and manually input the address of the customer. So I had like no money in my bank account, like zero. And I was depending on the money in the Stripe account to pay for the hoodie. So I was like, oh no, like what am I going to do? Because Stripe is holding my money for 2 weeks because it's the first transaction. So I didn't want my customer to wait that long. I didn't want to let them down. So I figured out a way. and I got the $60 I need for the hoodie, and I finally paid for it and I got it sent to the customer, and they were happy with it, by the way. They loved it, but I felt bad charging that much for a hoodie. Like, I know it's good quality hoodies, but I didn't want to charge that much. I felt like that was outrageous. And like I said, I ended up losing money with that transaction because I did my math wrong. So I had to make $60 so that I could send this hoodie to my customer, and I ended up having to take money out of my pocket for this customer to have the hoodie because, like I said, I did my math wrong. Stay in school, kids. And yeah, so I thought I fucked up majorly. I was feeling really discouraged after that because by now I've lost like $130, I guess, technically, which I know is crazy, but no. Okay, yeah, no, I'll do the math after the video. I'll put the total somewhere around here. But I've lost about that much money by now, and I was feeling really discouraged because, like, I'm losing money on this. I only got one customer. I lost money on that. I've been marketing, like, putting out videos like crazy. I've been paying for this account so that I can connect the store to my website, which ended up not being helpful at all, and, like, honestly kind of a scam. I felt like no one wanted my hoodies, really. And no, I haven't got any sales since then, but hopefully that'll change. I'm getting back into it. But since then, it's been a few months now, and I completely neglected the company. So I realized, like, no, like, there's going to be, like, hardships in this. Like, I'm going to lose money. I'm going to have to go through a lot of shit to get this to succeed. So I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to start making more videos. I'm going to hopefully get some people involved to help with the videos. I'm going to start posting way more. I need to get back to posting every day on TikTok and Instagram. I'm going to be posting on here once a week. So hopefully you guys can follow along the journey. I'm going to be posting way more behind the scenes stuff on here. And I'm going to, hopefully this will get going. But yeah, I'm 15, my name is Stacy, and I am the founder of Hooded Aces. So feel free to check out my social media accounts. They will be down here. And yeah, go follow, and thank you for watching.